let's check in with the listeners.
Hey, listeners.
Hey, listeners.
Listeners, remember you can always reach us at the email address gamescoop@ign.com, just like Andrew Gonzalez did.
Oh, good name.
He says, I was thinking the other day, Sony's PlayStation Plus offers the best incentive for gamers. The discounts are great. Who wouldn't want free games? Seeing as this is offered across all 3 Sony platforms, I couldn't help but be troubled about the Vita's take on it. I have learned from a few friends that own the device that they have not purchased a single Vita game since they bought the system because of PS Plus. Their general attitude is, I'll just wait until it appears on PS Plus. In an industry where publishers depend on day one and launch window sales, can this have a negative effect? I know Sony offers an incentive to publishers for putting games on PS Plus, but is it enough to make back development costs? Can this do more harm than good?
It could, but I don't think that's what you're looking at right now, right? Like, EA doesn't make Madden for Vita. Why? Because there aren't enough Vitas in the wild. If Sony can turn around at E3 and be like, guess what, we sold 20 million Vitas, developers will be like, oh, well, we should make more games for Vita. And that's when the tide would turn to where if there's so many games coming out on Vita, they wouldn't all be free eventually. Right now, there's so few games coming out to Vita that you're like, well, that game will probably be free. Ollie, probably going to be free on for PlayStation Plus eventually.
This is an issue with PC games too, right? Like
You should buy Ollie. So, go ahead.
I'm saying any half-decent PC game is going to end up in a Humble Bundle, right? That you can get for...
Well, an indie game.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
What does your spreadsheet say?
I have no spreadsheet on this one. I do a lot of spreadsheets these days. I have a Hearthstone spreadsheet, too.
Nice.
I'm just not realizing this about myself. Lord of the Rings Online, Hearthstone. Yeah, so we find, I don't know about Humble Bundles, but you find with stuff like Steam sales that companies are really, really resistant. Let's say you have a $10 game. They're really, really resistant to knock it down to $1. But what happens over and over and over again is once you go back up to $10, you sell way more. Because other people are playing it, they're telling their friends. Once the sale's over, the sales don't drop off a cliff. You'll sell more. Like, you'll sell more the day after your sale ends than, any day you had over the last year.
Especially if you only raise it a few bucks, right? Like, you drop it down to almost nothing, and then you raise it to, like, half price, people are still going to...
Well, sure, or even back up to full price.
There.
Like, there's so many more people in the door that, tweeting about it, Facebooking about it, presumably, and I don't know, like, I haven't talked to anybody about PlayStation Plus specifically. I would assume that's probably the same. Like, Contrast was free when the PlayStation 4 launched. I would assume that they're selling more now as a result.
Right.
But maybe not.
Figure, it's the same thing. Eric Bredvig, former IGN guy, did a GDC talk last year, 2 years ago, about basically that a negative review is still better than no review at all. You want people talking about your stuff. Word of mouth is a big deal. So even like right now, if you didn't buy your PlayStation 4 and you're going to buy it in a year,
they're still selling millions of them.
When you go into the PlayStation Store, you're going to see Contrast and be like, oh right, that was free a long time ago. I've heard people talk about it. I've heard people play it. Maybe I'll try it. You know what I mean? And you jump in and try it.
That's the big problem for indie games is awareness.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's very, very hard to get, IGN talking about your game, writing about your game. There's just too many. You're too small. Like, the niche is too small. It's a challenge. A game like Don't Starve is another great example.
Yeah. Although that has sold over 1 million copies, so that one's doing okay.
Sure, but it's how to get your indie game on people's radar is the big challenge, and giving it away or making it very, very cheap is one way to do that, and then you'll sell more after that giveaway ends.
Sure.
In answer to his question, I don't know whether it makes sense over the long term, but my speculation
It's been going
is
on for a while.
Right now for the Vita, I think it makes a lot of sense. Get that? That they sell a Vita, PlayStation Plus bundle, right? Where it comes
that's a
with
benefit to Sony, not to the companies that are having their games given away.
You don't know that, right? You imagine Sony's made a deal with them.
They're getting money from Sony for that.
But I just mean, if the Vita sells more units, like you were saying earlier, as a result of this program being so strong.
Yeah.
Right.
I would wonder. I'd be curious to find out more if it helps Sony more than it helps the companies. Like, it makes the Sony platforms look really appealing, but what about the game makers?
Yeah, game makers don't make that huge of a cut from each game they sell. That's not really how that works. So maybe they're actually getting a really good deal on that.
Yeah.
I'd like to look more into that.
Andrew, I would probably trust that Sony knows what they're doing. That they're not if they were putting developers out of business, they would probably change up the PS Plus.
I'm actually, and maybe this is my own ignorance because I don't know, but the financials of PS Plus, so they are paying a developer for each, let's say someone downloads Contrast for free.
Yeah.
And Sony's giving them some dough for that, for each download?
I do not know.
I bet it's a set thing. Hey,
I would think
it'll be kind of equivalent to if you sold this many copies on PSN.
That's interesting.
I'm not sure if that's ever
and
been
because then
publicly
PS
talked
Plus is $50 a year. You can get it discounted sometimes, but then so it's like then that comes out of Sony
Yeah.
must know. So
everybody paying for PS Plus, they take that money and distribute it among several parties.
It's like
right?
you buying 50, 99-cent games.
Yeah, sure.
That's more than I'd ever buy on
that's maybe how I
PlayStation.
would think of it.
Yeah.
Or $10, $5 games. I mean, there's enough to go around there for
or
them to
$150
actually
games.
purchase the rights to do a free game as a promotion or something like that.
That's interesting. I'd be
I don't
curious
know.
to find out more. Maybe I'll look into that.
I'll look into it.